Hi everyone and welcome back to the Overtake GT. This is a 700PP build for the Aston Martin Vantage from 2018. Turbocharged, front engined, rear wheel drive monster pushing over 600 brake horsepower. Perfect 50-50 weight balance. This thing won't let you down at all. Especially if you go to Le Mans and you're on that Mulsanne straight, wow, does this thing pick up some speed. Now let's get straight into that build. Get your Aston Martin Vantage. Follow me to the tuning shop because this is one you are not gonna want to miss. So now at the tuning shop, it's time to get this well and underway, this build. So here we go, weight reduction stage 1 from sports, that's what you need from here. Club sports, you want to get bore up, high lift camshaft, weight reduction stage 2, a power restrictor and a ballast. Semi-racing, you want to get a racing crankshaft, fully customizable computer, a high RPM turbocharger, fully customizable LSD, weight reduction stage 3 and increase the body rigidity. Under racing you want to get stroke up, engine balance tuning, polished ports, an anti-lag system, racing intercooler, racing air filter and a racing silencer, racing exhaust manifold, racing brake pads and a racing brake kit. I went for the slotted discs on this build, brake balance controller, fully customizable suspension and a racing clutch and flywheel, and a fully customizable racing transmission. You want to get a set of racing hard tyres for while you're racing here. You can also go for a set of racing mediums if you'd like. Racing hards do allow you to have a little bit more power. Racing mediums, racing hards, I'll leave that choice up to you, but I can also go through that on the setting sheet as well. So for now, pick one and I'll go through the setting sheet and you can see which one's going to benefit you later on. Under extreme, intermediates, because we all know what happens if you're going to go and do a money grind at Le Mans. You can see I've got the racing wets, that's because I've also got a Spa build, and this thing it needed them, and I'm glad I got them because Spa just threw up so many curveballs in that race. I just didn't expect it at all. Ultimate, you want to get titanium connecting rods and pistons and a carbon propeller shaft, and that is it from here. So now what we'll do is we'll head over to GT Auto and we'll get this little beast dialed in and ready to get you making some much needed credits on Gran Turismo. Let's go. So here we are, we're at Gran Turismo, and the first thing we need to do is car maintenance and service. So click on there and on the right hand side you'll see it says wide body. Get that installed on the car and you'll see, look at this. Look at the stance of that car now with that wide body. Like, this thing could look even more beautiful. Those streamlined, absolutely gorgeous panels. That's it, what a car. Do you know what? This is the perfect looking car of the modern era for me. It just absolutely sums up Aston Martin in a nutshell. It is absolutely bob on. Short wheelbase, lots of power, rear wheel drive, that's what you need. Right, now we've done that, let's go to car customization. So we just go back, car customization, and what we want to do is you want to sort out the wheels first of all. Let's get those dialed in. So wheels, click on those. Now the wheels I've gone for this time on this build are the Enkai wheels, the Racing Revolution GTC 01 RRs, and they look brilliant with that style that I've designed on this one as well. So when you click on there, you want 20-inch standard size wheels, room width wide, offset standard, and get those installed on the car. And you can see, just looking at that, they absolutely fit in those wheel arches like perfection. Stunning, absolutely brilliant. And it's a good thing to do this as well, as if you're trying to pick a design of wheels and you're not sure how they're going to fit in with your style or the design you're trying to make, or even if they suit the look of the car overall, just keep pressing L1 or R1 and just go through these little simulations and you can see how it's going to look overall. And I mean, for me, I think that suits that design pretty well. If you have any thoughts on that, hit me up in the comments below. I just thought the little indented dish on those, absolutely bob on for me. Right, let's move on. Next thing on this build, custom parts. So at the front you want type B, the rear type A, and the wing type A. So a custom wing set, you can have that as well if you'd like. It just doesn't suit my style for the car, but type A fits everything. It's all dialed in, ready to go, and it's definitely a winner. And again, if you're unsure about how it's going to look, just press R1 and you can just see that's how it looks. I do get a few questions on this, And again, it's people that are new to the game, and you know what, that's fine. Ask away and I will give you the answers that I know, and that is it. And if I don't know them, I'll find out and then I'll let you know. Last thing I want is for you to be struggling. So you can see that's it there, covered in the Overtake GT logo, and again sporting a few sponsors as well. Not too bad at all. Okay, moving on, racing items. So first of all is the bonnet pin. Pick whichever one is best for you. It is entirely up to you which one you pick. I went for type B, the little button pins. I just thought it'd go well for this one. Tow hook. I didn't choose one at all because I didn't want to spoil the look of that front Aston Martin grille. I thought that looked too nice to spoil. And again at the rear, I just didn't think it'd suit it. But go nuts, pick one, pick what you like, and that's it. Roll cage. Now roll cage, I went for a type C roll cage with the cross member in the rear, and again you press R1 and you can see that roll cage through the windscreen. And that's it, it looks absolutely fantastic for me. And you can also change the colour, the powder coat on that as well, which is brilliant. Under other, you can do the light bulb, super cool LEDs for me. Number plate, I'm in the UK, so I went for a UK style number plate. I didn't decide to go for this one, it's not more the American style, isn't it? I went for the UK based model. And that's it really under other, you can't change a lot else. And then again, livery. Do you want to make your own like I have? Do you want to give it a go and just see if you can stand out a little bit more? I've put powdered decals on this so they stand out on that colour changing paint, because if you watch it does change slightly, you see blue and white. I just thought it'd look a bit better like that. Or if you're not in that mindset, click load style and pick one from there. All you do, just to show again, load style, content search again, and look at that, 26 pages. And people have already done the safety car one, AMR 25s. Look at some of these amazing liveries that people have made. And thank you to each and every one of you that does it, especially the ones that do the World Endurance Championship ones, because I love those, I think they're brilliant. But there's plenty on offer for you to choose. And just make sure if you've got a wide car like this, you need to have the orange wide car symbol on there to pick it. If you want to see what it looks like, press triangle, open details, and you can see it there. And like all these people on the right hand side, hit like, comment, and even add it to your own collection. So now we've done that, let's head straight back to the garage. Let's get this thing dialed in on the setting sheet, and let's get this ready to rock and roll at any 700pp event you want to throw it in. And here we are, we're back at the garage, and you can see this thing is just under 700pp, but I tell you what, 610 brake horsepower, don't let that fool you. This car is absolutely phenomenal. So first thing we need to do on this is get a set of racing hard tyres on. Like I said, you can put the mediums on, you are going to need to do a few more adjustments, but it's definitely going to be a case of racing hards. Otherwise it means messing with the power restrictor. So if you want to challenge yourself and you want to go for that, then by all means I'll leave that up to you. For me personally, and what I would highly advise is sticking to this build exactly the way it is. So racing hard tyres first of all, body height adjustments 100 at the front and 105 at the rear. Your anti-roll bars 8 at the front, 10 at the rear. Now the damping ratio compression is 35 at the front and rear, and damping ratio expansion is 50 front and rear. Natural frequency, again 3.35 front and rear, and your negative camber angle is 3 front and rear. So pretty simple and easy build so far. Toe angle, I've gone for a toe out of 0.03 at the front and a toe in of 0.01 at the rear. Gives the car extra stability. If you're going somewhere like Le Mans, the Mulsanne straight is where you definitely see and feel that benefit. And also on the Porsche curves, taking out at over 100, it is easily done with this. So initial torque 8, acceleration sensitivity 18, and your braking sensitivity 35. If for any reason you're struggling to get this car to stop, increase your braking sensitivity, because then that means it's going to give you more stopping power quicker. And just be a bit mindful that you could also induce snap braking, which is where you brake and the car suddenly spins. You see it sometimes in race categories like Formula 1 where they brake and the car spins out. but definitely increase that just bit by bit, get used to it and see how it suits you. If you feel that the car keeps spinning out, well, that's going to be your acceleration sensitivity, reduce that down. Also your initial torque, maybe reduce that to 5, and again build your confidence up in this car and get used to it. But trust me, very few will need to do this. It is a turnkey car. It is get in, go and win. Right, moving on. Aerodynamics, 110 at the front, 330 at the rear. Your ECU, you can see that's dropped down to 70%. And what you can also see is when this thing is dialed up to the max, it's 873 brake horsepower. So you can see the difference in performance there. So ballast 200 kilos, ballast positioning is -2, and that's going to give you the 50-50 perfect weight balance that you need to enjoy this car more and more and more. Weight reduction is something that we've worked on to get that balance in check, and that is why just adding that ballast and moving that ballast positioning is also going to mean the 50-50 balance is there, and it's so easy to turn in and out of corners. It's not going to make you think, oh no, what am I going to do? It is going to be absolutely on point on the apex each and every time. Power restrictor stays at 100%. Transmission 350 km/h. Manual adjustments, and make these changes as follows. First gear 5.128. Second gear 2.940. Third gear 2.401. Fourth gear 2.016. Fifth gear 1.716. Sixth gear 1.461. Seventh gear 1.277. and 8th gear 1.180, and that's a final drive of 2.500. This thing will not let you down. It is so fast, it is so on point, and it is definitely one that you are going to cherish listening to with your headphones on, revving just under 8,500 RPM. Moving over here, you can see everything that's installed. The anti-lag system's on, it's set to strong, and it performs like a boss. And that is it. It is so good, it is so agile, and it is one that you are going to thoroughly enjoy. Stay tuned, here's a track guide to Le Mans to guarantee a win, because if you're struggling, this is what you need to do. Let's get straight into that now. Okay, we're here at Le Mans, and it's time to show you what the 700PP Beast can do. And as you can see, fuel map 6, I've got my admin out the way. We're on those racing hard tyres, like I said, would probably be the best ones for you to go for without producing power. And look at it, look at this absolute machine. I did down gears in error there, so don't worry. But this is just so fast. We're up to 2 laps of fuel, which is, you know, considering what this car's had done to it, definitely worth it in the end. And look at it, look at the power it creates. Wait till you see it on the Mulsanne straight. Let's just try and get past this Toyota. It's the first time we think I've gone around that corner when no one's trying to spin out and across in front of me. But look at this, 5th gear, 150, 6th gear, 160, 170. Come on, let's hit that 180 barrier. Look at that, 180. 185, change gear, 190, it just wants to keep going. Oh, we had to just drop in behind them there. A few little love taps. Robin's racing. But look at the speed, the way it picks up in between the corners. Honestly, what a car. Absolutely bob on. Slight bit of front damage there on the bumper, but that'll disappear before we get to the next section. And look how quick we're taking that time down to Blazan. Blazan's in front. There's a first as well. So you can see just a bit earlier than usual on the brakes. But like I said to you just before in the settings, what you can do is you can just go on your setting sheet, and where the torque distribution is, your braking sensitivity, increase that, and then you won't have any issues then. As I say, just watch for snap braking, because that's when you brake and the car just goes whoop. No one wants that because it isn't fun. But this thing is absolutely on point. And what you'll see is come the end, we'll be at the front. We're only 8 seconds behind now, and look at it, it's just chewing through the time. Kawakami, straight past you. That Lexus RCF. There's the old Vantage, out with the old and in with the new. There we go, Yamanaka Supra. Probably the most overpowered car on the game, especially if you're racing online. And there's the trio up front, the trio of trouble. There we go. Some of you will have noticed on the gear ratios, first gear is slightly away from the others, and the only reason for that is because while I was testing, if you get into a situation where you spin, say you're coming around the Porsche curves now as an example, and you get stuck in this gravel trap. If I had to lengthen that gear too much, there'd have been too much lag for you to gain traction and get out quick enough. So by having that gear ratio the way it is, there is method to the madness, and that's what it is. Just to fill you in, that is what it is. It's just to give you that additional quick get off the gravel or get away from the barriers, whichever it is. Just in case it happens, it doesn't affect the performance of the car. You can see where we are at the end of lap 1, and we've caught them. You know, by the time we get near the line, we're going to be right on the back of the queuing, and he's not going to know what to do, is he? Oh, here we go. Like I said, yeah, right on the back of him, and we're going to overtake him. And at the end of this lap, in, pit, out, and it's a nice, easy win. So I'll see you at the end of this lap, and we'll see what the weather's like. Okay, so here we are coming up to the Porsche curves, and that weather is coming over now. So now we have a choice to make. Do we go for inters, looking at what's coming over first, or is there a chance it's just going to be light blue and we'll get away with sticking on some slick tyres? What do you think? Let's have a look. So this is where you need to have your strategy brain on. You need to be thinking, what am I going to be able to do? What's everyone else going to do? How wet's the track going to be? I mean, looking at what's coming over there, I think inters is going to be best. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a chance and go on inters, just looking at all the blue coming over. Just in time. Yeah, inters. Seen that last little bit of the map coming over then, and it was deep dark blue, so we'll chuck them on, we'll get that sorted. So let's get that done there. I'll have a quick sip of me brew, and then we can crack on then, and I'll just show you how to perform on this. So McEwen's in, Putty and Blazen, they're going to carry on, that's fine. It's going to be their loss, because as we come round to the end of the Mulsanne straight, we'll be catching them up on fresher and better tyres, because they're not going to be able to cope with that rain that's coming over by the looks of it. So don't worry too much about what's happening now, it's about what's going to happen in the next few minutes. You can see the clouds have changed. Starting to rain now in the pit lane, and we need to get out and get going. Right, 2 laps of fuel, let's go. And look, what a good call that was. Look what's come over. Anyone behind us? Right. So stick to second, we'll be okay. But this car is really solid as well. You can definitely feel that 50-50 weight balance. It's not one that's going to throw you off into the ether, even though it's not got, you know, the full race and brake systems on there. But you know, it's definitely a car that you were going to need to just enjoy, because you don't need to overdrive it. You just drive it like normal. Yes, we've dropped to 9th, but don't forget, 45 seconds what you lose for a pit stop here. So as long as we absolutely nail it now, when Putty and Blazen come in, we're effectively going to be 20 seconds in front of them. That's how it's going to work. So we just need to absolutely go for it. Look at this car, you can see it's hitting just under 190. Just dab on the brakes there. Another thing, if you're struggling to brake as well, instead of constantly going down the gears, just brake in one gear and it'll just slow the car right down, then double shift down, and and then carry on. I'll show you now on the next corner what I mean. It might be a technique people aren't aware of or don't use, but sometimes it helps. It just depends on what your driving style is. I've just been mixing and playing around with what lots of different people do. So say for example now, if I just brake in 6, look how quick it slows down. And then I can just drop to 3rd rather than constantly down gearing, and that momentum of the car keeps pushing it forward. So maybe that'll work, depending on what situation you're in. But you know, it's another thing for you to try, get used to, and just have it in your locker for when you need it. Maybe it'll work when you're racing online on your daily races, who knows. The main thing for me now though is to keep cracking on, pushing forward and getting to the front. I'm going to take this in second. Look at that, quite nicely. Haywood slowed right down. As you can see, they're all on the wrong tyres. We've had that heavy downpour. So hopefully we can catch quick, extend our lead, and then we'll be in and out and sorted. So it's about 7 laps at Le Mans. So we're going to have to pit 3 times. Look at all these going slow now. We're obviously on the quicker tyre. Don't know what's happened to Blazon. He's fell right down the pack, hasn't he? Oh, he's off. See, this Vantage doesn't do that at all. Bumper cars. And that's it. So if you think we've pitted now, so what we need to do is we need to crack on and we need to get as much time between us and second as possible. That's what we need to be doing. Because the AI on some of these races that you do, they've definitely had an upgrade, which is they don't care about you and your driving. If you're in their way, they're going to bash you out the way, and I stand firm by that because a lot of the testing I've done, that is what I found out. We are definitely on the right tyre because look, more bad weather coming over. Got another lap, so it could be a case of 2 laps on these tyres and then potentially another 2 laps on the next one. And that's it. Right, let's crack on to the end of lap number 4 and let's see how we get on. So here we go, coming up to the Porsche curves. You can see I'm over 1.5 minutes ahead now of Sugawara, so you can see how much the AI was caught off guard there, and this has allowed me to just stretch my legs and just get this car to perform the way I know it will. So what I need to do now is just make a decision. Do I come in and do the same again, or do I go on slick tyres? Because the track is still very wet in places, and the last thing I want to do is get caught out. I'm looking at some of that weather coming over. It may be worth just taking a chance, sticking some inters on, and if it changes, we have 2 fast laps. So let's do that. Let's go with what I've just said. Let's get in, get some more inters on, and then we're good to go. Right, there we are. So what I've found so far, just again, proving my point with this car, it is solid. You can feel that weight balance, it is absolutely on point. You hit the apex every time. There's lots of different ways that you can brake and benefit. You don't need to go lower than second. Second gear is what you need to stay in. Like I say, first gear, if you get stuck in the gravel trap, that's why that gear ratio is quite low. But other than that, it's absolutely spot on. It's performing well, the tyres are lasting, it's light and nimble. I get it's a bit of a thirsty car because it's 2 laps of fuel. But look at the lead you're pulling out, look at how performant it is, because by the time we come out and we go again, you know, they're not going to be able to catch us at all, are they? So let's get in now, then we'll pit again, and then hopefully we could do a flying lap. Let's see how we get on, because I'm hoping all this rain will disappear and we can just crack on then and enjoy a flying lap. And you get to see firsthand now what this car will do. If not, you'll have to do quite a few races on your own and see how you can get it to do a faster lap than a 4:22. Because I'm telling you now, it's well quicker than that. Okay, here we go again. It's the end of lap 5 and we're coming up to the Porsche curves, but if you look at that weather radar, I understand the rain's going to be disappearing soon, but look at what's coming over. So what do we do now? Do we take a chance of the added 45 seconds in the pit lane and hope that it dries up? Or do we do one more lap on this, come in, pit, and then see how fast we can get it to go? That is the conundrum I have at the moment. I'm looking at this giant rain cloud about to hit now. I think I might have to stay out. I'm not too sure. Let's have a think. Stay out. Alright, what I'll do is I'll do this lap. We'll get in, we'll pit. I mean, even on these tyres, it's doing a 4:25 on an out lap, so you can see how fast it is. But let's just escape this rain and then let's see what kind of an outlap we can do when we're on better tyres. And that should give you a rough indication then of how fast this car actually is, even though it's not set a fastest lap. So I'll see you at the pit lane. So where we are coming into the pit lane, you can see, look how absolutely hammered those tyres are. It was the right choice, because some extra weather came over. But here we are now, and look at that, 1 minute 51 in front. We're going to get one more lap in. And I was already 10 seconds up on that lap on those dying tyres. So not too bad at all. So here we go, we're in now. Get these inters off, feel like I've had them on the whole race. And let's see what kind of an outlap we can do on racing hard tyres. Hopefully that'll give us a bit of an indication of how fast this car can be. But yeah, definitely very performant, very agile, nimble. Like I've said constantly, it is one car I'm very proud to bring to you and for you to enjoy. Okay, coming up to the end of the final lap. Look at that. And there we go, over the line, a solid 1:43 minutes ahead. And that is a nice easy win in a car that is just fast. You can get it from Brand Central, anyone can build it, it's easy to drive, doesn't matter whether you're new or not to the game. It is a solid car and you don't need to put a whole lot into it. It really is good financially. So look, at 31 minutes and a half, the weather was just absolutely insane through most of that. I have had far worse, but definitely not one really where I've needed 4 laps of inters. But you can see, look, a nice healthy lead, nice win, and that's it. It does exactly what it says on the tin though. If you're loving this type of content and you're loving these builds, hit that subscribe button, don't miss any future uploads. You can become a channel member if you like as well, by all means, if you choose to. You can even do things like race me, it's up to you. Live streams are every Friday, so don't miss any more live streams. Join them, set your notifications, set your timer on a Friday. You can have a chat with me live while we do some daily races and we have a laugh. And that's it really, you just have a fantastic day and I will see you on the next build. Take care.